Broadus talked about it in the post game. We had talked about it after last week. Bobby Belt had brought it up, the physicality or lack thereof of Trevon Diggs in the run game. Hayden Hurst converted a first down yesterday. I'm not blaming Diggs, but I chose at that time to tweet, don't count on any extra support from Trevon because he tackles like Deion Sanders, and that was not meant to be a compliment. And then Trevon Diggs with probably the stop of the game on that third down that set it up for Cooper Rush, Noah Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Brett Maher to win it. And I got, first off, the entire game wrong. I thought Cincy was going to bounce back and romp. You ended up right with your bet. Technically, you won.
I did win, yeah, the +7, yeah. And now I'm interested to see how this changes the Giants line. Bassick said he had seen it at 4.5. I never saw it that high. I always saw it at 3.
Yesterday, I looked at last night. It was 3 still.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I don't know that it'll change much, only because the Giants are 2-0. And they look halfway decent. But I mean, it to me that's another one that I think the Cowboys have that would be a good bet.
And I thought that Jamar Chase, the phenom, was going to torch Trevon Diggs. PFF has their one-on-one numbers out. 2 catches allowed, 14 total yards for Jamar Chase against Diggs. So star up Trevon Diggs, as I'm happy to eat that corner crow this morning, but that was a humongous tackle on the outside. Joe Burrow, some Tolos pointing out, hey, Burrow couldn't get rid of the football. He was under duress. He got sacked 6 times, but I'm going to go star up Trevon Diggs to begin.
Star up until you see otherwise. Why it would be, and you know the grades will come out here in the next couple hours, and I suppose there's a way where, like the receiver was open and Burrow just didn't hit him or didn't have time to throw. That's a big thing, not having time to throw. But it's not like Burrow didn't complete any passes that day. So he obviously completed some. So there obviously was no real threat when anybody was on Diggs yesterday. And to me, that's big. So he has a star up for me as well. That was really a game-saving tackle. It really was. As bad as he looked, I thought of the Hayden Hurst.
First down.
Yeah, first down where it was what a great play by Hurst on that one. What a fantastic run. He was amped. As bad as that may have been.
Did you think that Diggs should have been more in on that?
Oh, yeah, because you saw they did the camera on the pylon cam. Yeah, you could tell he purposely got the hell out of the way of that one. And guess what? I don't blame him at all. All right? Save that until you get your contract.
This is why we go to training camp to come back with the reports of Noah Brown being a top 10 player at camp. He finishes with 5 for 91 and a touchdown. And, man, how can you not feel great for this guy?
You have to. I mean, he's been basically a non-factor his entire career. And then all of a sudden it's clicking, coming together.
Lost weight, decided to be more of a receiver than a blocker.
Right.
Kind of like Dalton Schultz, right? Dalton Schultz came into the league. His specialty is blocking. And he's like, no, I'm going to go ahead and be a tight end that gets franchise tagged.
And Noah Brown looked, he's looked like an actual receiver early on in the season, which is great. Because you're right. I mean, he was a blocker. He was a glorified tight end. There was a point where you could have sat there and said, you know what? Should we try to make him that sort of, Gronk tight end where he's more of a receiver, a big-bodied receiving tight end versus a blocking wide receiver, or he could just lose some weight and become an actual wide receiver.
And that was the Cowboys' first touchdown of the season. Yeah. And I know you're giving a star up to that 4th and 2 on their own 43. I'm currently still undecided. I was like, wait a sec. I thought we were supposed to be smarter, a little bit more conservative, win it with defense and running game, and we're going to give the ball to the Bengals on your own 40-yard line, and bam, Cooper Rush hits Noah Brown for 17 yards.
Way to go, man. That is the new NFL, and I'm here for it. I absolutely love it. The chart says 4th and 1, you go for it from every yard line on the field. There is not a yard line you do not go for a 4th and 1 on. That's what the chart says. 4th and 2, not quite that far, but you still go for it when you're within the 4. Anytime past your 40, you should. I think you should go for it on 4th and 2. I loved that play call. Not necessarily, I would say, I would throw it 17 yards on the field. But I love that play call.
Noah had the 4th down conversion. He had 2 3rd down conversions, 4 for 79 and a touchdown in the first half. And, of course, that final drive, a name that we did fail to bring up on the show last week to give us a little bit more Cowboy hope. We never brought up the name Eli Apple, and we should have. That was star down on us for not bringing up one of the most attacked dudes in the NFL on social media. And some of this damage was against Eli Apple, and we forgot to pick on him.
We failed. We definitely failed to do that one. Another star up here for me. This is a star up to Kellen Moore. Not for any game plan. No, I'm not going to. This was a good move. Tony Pollard got you all the way down to the 1/2 yard line with a long run, overturned, and on the very next play, instead of giving it to somebody else to get the reward of the touchdown, they go right back to Pollard. Other time it would be one of those things that is bad etiquette to give it to somebody else. Terrible football etiquette.
I needed it for Zeke in my fantasy team. Good Lord, I'm getting smoked in both leagues.
I've already stopped looking. I won't set a lineup the rest of the year. Whoever's playing me,
who's your quarterback?
I got Justin Herbert in one of them.
Yeah, but in your other one, I don't know. I got the 2 oldest, most done dudes through 2 weeks. One of my quarterbacks is so bad, Vegas refunded bettors their MVP slip on Russell Wilson. They've refunded and gave it back. And my other one is Tom Brady, who can't score any points.
I think I got Rodgers in 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, Rodgers.
I got Rodgers in 2 of my leagues.
Yeah, the Green Bay run game last night.
Yep, and then Herbert in the other one. So my quarterbacks are theoretically decent, but
did it feel like Tony Pollard stopped being used in this game? He ended up with 9 for 43 and a touchdown. 17-yard run was the longest of the day for either side. Zeke had 15 for 53, 3.5 a carry. Tony Pollard, 4.8 a carry. He also had 4 catches for 55 yards. I mean, is it without hesitation and clear, RJ, that Tony Pollard is the better running back?
Yeah.
He's definitely the most dangerous and the most explosive.
Well, then he's the better one. Although there is something to be said for being
dirty yards.
Yeah, yes. There is something to be said for being able to be trustworthy. You get 4. Like if Tony Pollard gets 18, 32, minus 4, 0, 1, 0, 17,
Zeke is like the truck that you can trust to move furniture. But that's it. You want to go on a date? You want to go out for a joyride? You want to go out for a spin?
That bench seat, man, on a date, it's a pretty good idea.
You take Tony or a golf cart for you.
Yeah.
You take Tony Pollard, but you need to go ahead and lug that couch and that refrigerator or the washer and dryer. You go ahead and load up the truck and take it, 12 miles down the road. That's Zeke Elliott. But that's it. That's it. Otherwise, in every other scenario and situation, you want Tony Pollard, man.
That's what you want. Yeah, give me Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard to me is the guy. The problem is that the team doesn't either believe that or $15 million refuses to allow them to believe it.
A lot of Tolos would give Kellen Moore a star down because of what happened after the first half, right? 17-3. And then you end up with 3 points for the rest of the game. It felt and looked like, Romo was even bringing it up, it did feel like they went a little more conservative. I don't know what adjustments were made by Cincinnati. We'll hear more on that with our film study guys, Bobby Belt, Brad Sham, Nick Eatman, but the offense completely went away in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
It did. How much of that was...
If they would have lost that game, we'd be opening up this show, or the first 30 minutes, shredding Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy for giving it away, playing not to lose versus going out and getting it. Right? That's the way it was trending towards.
It was. Now, in their defense, on the second drive of the second half, they had moved the ball 50 yards, and then there was a fumble.
Schultz?
Mm-hmm. So they had moved it. They were at the 35. They were in field goal range, and they had a 1st and 10, and they had a 2nd and 8, and then the fumble. Who knows what they wind up doing on that drive?
Schultz was stripped on the Cincy 25. You were up 8, end of the third. That was the Bengals' first takeaway this season. And then Dante Fowler responded with that 3rd and 5 knockdown. A little star up for the other defensive lineman, by the way, which we'll get to in a second. But first half, Cowboys versus Bengals yards, 227 versus 84. Third quarter, Bengals 84 to 42. So Cowboys picked up 150 of those yards on their first 2 possessions. The next 7 possessions got them 154 yards total.
Yeah, there was an element of the first half of the offense that was reminiscent of, the Garrett days. Remember, they would come out, they would script the first 15 plays. There was a great script. They did like the one great thing that you could say Jason Garrett did was their offense game planned throughout the week with a really good game plan for those first 15 or so plays. And then once they had to go off script, that's when it all went to hell. And that's kind of what happened yesterday. Once they went off script and they were no longer in their first 15 plays, which I don't know, just take the script and flip it and go back again and do the whole thing over again. Once they were off that script, they were much worse.
Micah Parsons is going to get his love, deservedly so. PFF had him with 7 pressures. They sacked Burrow 4 times in the half. The stat you already said, 7th straight time. Burrow sacked 3 times or more. Fowler with that big knockdown of that pass before the half. Van Der Esch coming through with a sack. That was their 6th sack on the day. That was on 3rd down. That forced a field goal to make it 17-9. So star up the rest of that defensive line and Dan Quinn. In that first half, there was a period where it seemed like there was a defender. There were guys in the backfield every play. And with an offense that has just scored 2 touchdowns on the season, Dan Quinn and the D have held Brady and Burrow to a total of 2 touchdown drives and 36 total points. Star up Cowboys D-line, Dan Quinn, and the D.
Yeah, it is. And I look, it's an aggressive defense too. And sometimes that's going to lead to some really dumb penalties. And they had some dumb penalties yesterday. Barr, Wilson, you got to know.
Who was offsides on the special teams play? The TV said it was Tank, but it was not Tank, as a lot of Tolos pointed out and corrected. The stupid penalties, Barr with the hit on the opening 3rd down stop. You're off the field.
Yep.
You're off the field. It resulted in 3 points ultimately, so you cost yourself a field goal. Simi Fehoko had a false start on 3rd and 4. That makes it 3rd and 9, but Noah Brown came up with a 3rd down conversion. Donovan Wilson with the hit on Burrow sliding, and then it was a 4th and 4 punt, and the Cowboys were offsides. 4th and 4, that resulted in 3 points. So 6 points off the jump in terms of the stupid penalties.
Yeah, just especially when you get some of those unsportsmanlike conduct or roughing, unnecessary roughness. Those are killers, man.
Total penalties. How many? How many for the Cowboys? I have it.
9.
Only 5. We won the turn. Well, no, usually it's a turnover battle. We won the penalty battle.
That's right, baby.
5-7.
Yeah.
Cincinnati had 7. We had 5 for 45.